Hello, my witchlets. This is not the video I intended to bring you, but this is the video that you are getting today. Otherwise, there would be another week without a video, and I don't like doing that. So, the reason this is the video that you are receiving is I spent my day today trying to make we'll call it 11th century Kievan Rus chemise called a rubaka, and those are made out of linen. And I don't have a serger, but we have discovered that medically I need a serger because I was trying to do French seams, I guess they are, where you fold it under and sew it down, and it reinforces the seam. But I was trying to do that, and I can't move this thumb right here because it was bad enough that this area here already feels like shattered glass on a normal basis, same on the left hand, but now I can't move my thumb because of trying to delicately move the linen and curl it under so that I could sew it and all of that stuff. So the chemise is not done. I would say
it's looking good though.
It looks good. It's just
not done.
Painful.
And we have somewhere to be tomorrow.
And we have somewhere to be tomorrow because it was actually what it was for. It was for this weekend.
Not gonna make it.
Yeah, it's not going to make it, but we're going to make it, and that's fine. So
yeah,
I just won't have my fancy Russian garb. I'll just have to wear like my crappy Irish garb that I have.
I'll just wear me garb because it's like simple and easy.
I think the boys though are lending you garb. They keep talking about it.
They keep talking about it, but yet garb has not coalesced. And nobody's talked about, are we stopping by their house on the way there? Or are they just going to bring garb and hope it fits me? Because random is an option. I don't know. No, I'm going to try and grab some of my garb, which is not great.
You're the same size as they are.
No, I'm halfway between both of them. Well, a little closer to Snorri than Seamus.
Seamus is tall.
Seamus is tall.
You and Snorri are about the same size.
Snorri is about the same size as I am. I don't know.
We love our friends.
I know that maybe I could fit some of the garb, and apparently I have to wear small clothes just because, it's somebody else's garb. That's weird.
Seamus isn't even sure if Seamus can fit his garb, so, The pandemic's been kind to everybody.
No, no it hasn't.
Obviously that was sarcasm.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so there's no cooking video this week. I was like, I could make cookies, and then I was like, no, I can't even hold my glass.
I don't have opposable thumbs tonight.
Yeah. I have to hold this in my left hand because my right hand, it's like, ow.
I would be wearing her drink. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's been a really, really, really odd week.
And I am posting this on both of our YouTube channels since we're doing this together.
And that's probably going to be a thing for another couple of weeks until I actually get real content. Because I really have a lot of stuff I have to do for the farm. But I'm just not ready. I've got the tools, but I have to take care of the girls, the goats' hooves this week.
Were you the one that wrote that on the calendar? Or was that me?
I don't know, but it needs to get done regardless.
Well, it's on the calendar for Saturday.
So we have 6 goats, and their hooves are a bit overgrown, and I have all the tools to do it, and I have the knowledge to do it, so I just need to get it done. But that's the number one priority. The comfort of our girls is paramount.
Yes.
So
it's definitely a 2-person job, and I haven't been up to helping because I am not a large person, and the goats are, and I have firsthand experience and knowledge that Dulcinea is quite heavy, and is not quite aware of when she's standing on your foot with all 250 pounds of her on that foot.
Yep.
It hurts a lot.
So
I still have bruises.
So we need to be able to anchor them in a spot and take care of their hooves and all that. So that's a thing that's going to happen this next week or so.
I can tell you something that will happen on Coventry Kitchen is we just recently purchased a Traeger pellet grill.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be smoking all of the things. In fact, I might do a video this called Will It Smoke? And, go from there.
So, yeah, we have smoked
Lamb.
several things already.
Pork.
But we realized this week that you can smoke veg and you can smoke herbs. Not that way, but the way the smoker will do it.
Yeah.
So
cheese, nuts.
yeah, cheese, nuts, all that stuff. So we're gonna have some fun with that. That's probably gonna end up a cookbook at some point.
Yeah, we actually have some ideas for cookbooks as well, coming out
If
eventually.
If you have ideas for cookbooks, let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Because one of the greatest things that I love about this life is we get to experiment. And we have done a lot of experimenting already in the month and a half since we've been here, and created some amazing things. Like, we smoked a leg of lamb because why not? We're in Oregon, it's kind of cheap by LA standards.
Yeah.
So we smoked a leg of lamb, but we ate like 3, 4, 5% of it. And
It was large.
we deboned the rest, and we saved the bone for later. Quote me on that. Anyway, so like today, I took all the odd cuts that we can't use for sandwiches, because sandwiches are good. And I did a stew for lunch, like randomly, because she was doing garb.
Stressing over garb.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I'm hungry. She's probably hungry, and she's busy, so I'll do a stew. And it came out amazing. But at the same time, it's like, there's so many things. So from my perspective, I really want to get to the point where we have excess vegetables, which we're going to have, and leftover meat, which we always have. So let's do something that is tasty and comforting and fairly easy, to the point I can make it in my 1 hour lunch break. And so I diced everything, threw it all in a pan, got it browned a little bit, threw in the sauce and the au jus from cooking the lamb earlier, and it was amazing. Like, I suck at cooking stews, and it was the best stew I've ever made in my life.
I will give you this one point of feedback. Cook your mushrooms first. Because the mushrooms were a little...
I liked them crunchy.
Yeah, but it didn't blend with the mouthfeel of everything else.
That's fair.
So that would be my only feedback, other than I had 2 servings of it. And...
So, I've been cooking since before she was alive. But this level of feedback is part of what makes us better. Both better. Because when I met her, she didn't cook. And I kind of showed her the ropes, and then just stood back and watched her blossom, because she's smart enough where she figured out on her own. I didn't have to teach her.
That, and I used meal kits a lot.
At first.
And in fact,
recently, because it was just easy.
It was easier.
And we moved, and we didn't have access to a lot. We still don't have access to a lot.
But, I think I have one more, I have one more week of meal kits that are here at the house, and I canceled my subscription, because now... But
still, Home Chef is amazing.
Home Chef is amazing, and I love them, and I highly recommend them. In fact, I think I can still give coupon codes from it. So if you're interested, drop me a note in the comments, and I will get you a code. But also, we also subscribe to Butcher Box, and since we moved, we upgraded the box to the larger box. So we have got so much frozen meat right now. So knowing that I have access to a smoker where we can smoke stuff, in fact, when the Butcher Box got here, surprised me, because it notified me that it was being shipped while I was in Pennsylvania, and I didn't have access to the email address that I used for ButcherBox while I was there in Pennsylvania, so I didn't realize that it was coming, and then all of a sudden I got an email that said, hey, your ButcherBox has been delivered, and I'm like, hey, I didn't know I was getting one, because I still have most of the stuff from the first one that we got when we moved. So, we are limited on freezer space to the
Currently.
drawer freezer that we have in our refrigerator in the kitchen. We have an upright freezer in our hallway, and that's where a lot of the meat is. But everything is full at this point. And I was like, okay, so we have salmon that I don't know what to do with, and we have a pork roast. So we ended up smoking the pork roast. I was going to make pulled pork with it, but we neglected to check the hopper on the pellets, and they ran out. So we were done at whatever temperature it was, which was good.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. So we just sliced it and ate it as a pork roast, and it was really good. And I don't like pork, so that's a thing. And then we took the salmon, because Butcher Box will send you, if you select it, will send you 2 pounds of salmon fillets. So they're pre-cut and they're individually packaged, which is fantastic, because if you only want 2, you can pull out perfect portions for 2 people. But we had 2 pounds of it that wouldn't fit anywhere, because we still have like 2 pounds of it in our freezer in the hallway. So we turned half of it into gravlax. Yes, baby.
That's the song of his people.
That is the song of his people. That is midnight. So we turned half of the salmon into gravlax, and then we bought. I ordered from Amazon some applewood pellets, but they weren't going to get here until this week. And I was like, I kind of don't want to leave it curing in salt for too much longer. So when we went to the supply store in town, we went there to pick up some terracotta pots. And then while we were there, I noticed that they had like all of the Traeger pellets.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are cheaper here than they are from Traeger itself, from Amazon, from everywhere. I'm like, we should just buy them here. So now that we know that they're there, we can just run into town and get it whenever we need. But we bought some apple pellets so that we could do our lox. And I'm telling you guys, I am ruined. I will never buy lox again.
Yeah.
It was so good.
We literally prepped the lox, 2.5, 3 days?
Yeah, the same amount of time as the gravlax. So.
And then we smoked it and sliced it thinly and...
Done.
Oh my God.
There's a river right over there, and I have a fishing rod.
Yeah.
We are making lox, like our own lox from now on.
Yeah, we'll see, because we are technically allowed 3 salmon per year per person, 1 per day, no more. And it's our river. Like, we have water rights on the river, so we can bring river water up in the house, which we're not going to do, because spring water is way better.
I know, right?
But we can harvest 6 salmon per year. But locally, they've had a real issue in the last couple of years with salmon, because the salmon runs here were 5 and 6 digits, and then they went down to 3 digits, like 250 count 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was from the invasive species of bass, wasn't it?
That was that and overfishing.
Okay.
So
we'll fish the bass too, don't worry.
Literally, we'll fish the invasive bass all day long. But
we'll make lox out of that too.
But honestly, as much as we love salmon, we love lox, we're going to focus on making sure that the salmon in the area are sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to harvest a one if we're in harm's way of harming the salmon population, because honestly, local tribes really kind of have First Nations rights to the salmon.
Exactly.
So,
since we get Butcher Box, we can just order salmon.
Yeah, but we also discovered that our lower pasture floods in winter, like literally floods, and
you should tell them about Winter Lake.
Oh, okay, detour.
Only slightly, because
Detour
it's related.
alert. So, between us and the main route into Coquille, which we're not in Coquille, we're in Coquille Mailing. We have some other...
If you look at a Google map, our house is right near where it says Leneve.
Yeah.
Because Leneve used to be the name of this town.
Right, until they lost their post office.
Until they
because
lost
not
their
enough
post
people
office.
lived here.
Yeah.
So we're Coquille mailing, but we're not Coquille proper, or kind of improper, which is kind of us.
Yeah.
So
Formally informal.
yeah, so between us and town, the Coquille River exists twice because it comes up and goes back, which is fine. So there's a lot that goes on there. There's salmon, there's bass, and all that stuff, and we're gonna probably do that. But at the same time, we also want to honor the local tribe and not overfish the salmon.
Right, you said that. I was saying talk about Winter Lake.
Oh, yes. So
Sorry.
between us and the main road into Coquille, there is a section on the other side of the river, and there's a section in between the river, and there's a little tiny strip between us and the river. The little tiny strip is our land.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go down there. We're going to build some sort of blind or whatever to be able to fish and stay not sunburned. Between the river and the other side of the river, and the river, other side of the river, and the 42, there's a lot of pasture, like hundreds of cows, which in winter becomes a lot of water and way fewer cows, and a lot of gunshots at 7:30 in the morning. So
They go on for longer than that. But
yeah, but it starts there.
it starts about 7:30.
It ends about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. So they harvest a lot of cows about this time of year.
Apparently.
So Winter Lake is called Winter Lake because it's no longer warm enough here to evaporate water, as evidenced by the fact that our dehumidifier is working overtime every day of our lives.
It's a daddy long legs.
And we have a spider.
Oh. And he's crawling on you.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's
a daddy long
It's a
legs.
spider. He's not poisonous to me. Maybe other spiders and little insects, but not me. Anyway, so that's called Winter Lake because it only exists in the winter, and it evaporates in the spring. And I'm hoping my garden does too, because it's kind of waterlogged right now. With all the craziness that's going on in California right now, I messaged one of my friends the other day and said, y'all stole my weather because it's going wicked wild down in California.
Apparently we were what was holding back the deluge.
Yeah, we were holding back the judgment of God. And we moved to Oregon. It's like, okay, well, that's where it belongs, so I'm going to still, So this is long and rambling, but it's fun because we're just having a casual night here before we have to drive forever tomorrow.
Only 2.5 hours.
2.5, 3 hours tomorrow, another couple days, come back. So we're far enough away from everything where it's kind of unpleasant and uncomfortable to drive more than 20 minutes. But at the same time, that's how you get to civilization. Because, trust me, Coquille is not civilization.
To put it in a very good perspective, I called to set up some doctor's appointments for us, and I see a rheumatologist because I have lupus, and the person I was talking to asked what specialty I was looking for, and I said rheumatology if you got it, and they're like, you wanted country living, sweetheart, so here you are. You have to drive 2.5 hours to see a rheumatologist, and I'm like, awesome.
I need
Great.
to see that 2 times a year. That's a lot of driving. 4 times a year.
4 times a year. I'm supposed to go. That really hurt. I'm supposed to go once a quarter to take routine, but I'm pretty sure an internist could do it because I just need okay, this is bothering me. I just need
UMB.
routine blood work. And because we have to check my kidneys and make sure that they're functioning and not damaged or anything like that. I don't feel like they're damaged, but you know, we have to check that. And I also was like, well, what about an endocrinologist? Nope, 2.5 hours for that too. So yeah, great. My thyroid is functioning okay. But as I told somebody the other day, in the process of determining what is wrong with me, it's been very difficult because I don't actually have the autoimmune antibodies for lupus. I don't have the antibodies for celiacs. I don't have RF factor for RA. And yet I have the symptoms of all of these things. What I do have is the autoimmune antibodies for Graves' disease and Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and I don't have any symptoms of those. So we don't know what's going on, really. I was diagnosed with lupus in kind of a reverse way. The same thing with celiacs. I was diagnosed with it in a reverse way. It was like, well, let's try the treatment, and if the treatment works, then sure, that's what you have, kind of thing. So it was kind of like a process of elimination thing. So yeah, it's been weird.
Except with lupus, you've now developed the additional systems or you have a guaranteed diagnosis.
Well, yeah, I now do present with more than 3. I had 3 symptoms
and now you have 6.
for a diagnosis. Now I have like 6 or 8. I actually have, so in the research that I've done on lupus, there's actually 3 types of lupus. There is it called discoid? I think it's discoid lupus.
There's 5
it's for the
types
skin.
last time I checked.
It's for the skin, and then there's SLE, and then there's like types of SLE, and I have one of the newer types, which is you don't present with the classic symptoms. Like, you don't present with kidney involvement, and a lot of your symptoms tend to be more in alignment with like MS or CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, which is actually not called that anymore because it is actually, there's a demyelinization or something like that going on. I don't know. It's a big thing. And once we figured out it wasn't neurological, it was autoimmune, we stopped dealing with the neurological part of it. But my lupus actually attacks my central nervous system. So I have all of the fun things involved with that. Like, I get to have the auditory hallucinations, which terrify me.
People pay good money for that.
Auditory hallucinations?
Absolutely. Hallucinations in general, whatever.
Auditory hallucinations are terrifying. Like,
they're all terrifying. I'm so glad I don't have any of them.
Yeah, just like I hear voices, like legit voices. Like, I've heard his voice saying things that don't make sense.
Like I do.
Yes, but it didn't have to do with, what was it, defragging a cat or something? I don't remember what the word was, but I don't know. I woke up hearing his voice saying, no, we're not going to defrag the cat. Just using defrag because I can't remember the actual word that it was. My aphasia is pretty heavy. I told you about it.
I know. I don't remember that particular. Why do we need to reassemble a cat?
I don't know. That was part of what made it disturbing. But like at 3
It's
a.m.
disturbing. I'm disturbed.
At 3 a.m.
Not as disturbed as she is.
Not as disturbed as me, right? When he went back to LA to finish packing out our apartment, and I was here by myself, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning hearing a man's voice that sounded like it was just outside of my bedroom window saying, "Do you have any cash?" It was random. It was weird. It had nothing to do with what I had been dreaming. Mm-hmm. I felt like somebody was skulking around the property. And at that time, we did not have locks on our doors. Not functioning locks anyway. And I was here by myself, and we don't own guns.
Which may have to change.
It may change.
So we have much better security now, if you're wondering.
Yes, we have much better
or
security
interested.
now. I get notifications a lot with, there's activity at your door. And I'm like, yeah, it's a goat. I guarantee you it's a goat.
Yeah, and video is going up in the next couple of days. Because we're going to video all that to this cloud. No.
Yeah, so we've got better security now. But our friends, Seamus and Snorri, knew that I was here by myself. So they invited me over for dinner one night. Well, I was by myself.
She had to stay.
Told me I had to stay. And, didn't have to stay, but, I expressed some concern about coming back to a pitch black driveway to open the gate, close the gate, blah, 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 deal with the goats. And they said, just stay here. And I'm like, okay. You have a guest room. That's great. Well, they also equipped me with a warhammer, like an actual warhammer, which I had never actually seen in person, and then was immediately terrified that I would poke my own eye out with it because I don't have depth perception.
She's not joking.
I
I
can't
came
see.
home to a warhammer and several other weapons in my own bedroom.
It was a warhammer,
And apparently
a
I need to be
sword,
a better human
and a
being now.
dagger.
Because she has defensive weapons that I cannot counter.
I was like, I actually feel much safer with this sword because, like, it's a legit sword. It's sharp, and I know how to use a sword.
I don't feel safer. Not even a little bit. Just saying.
Oh man, I mean, I was trained in stage combat, but no depth perception. It becomes real combat real fast. So,
Accidental combat for the loss.
for the win.
Depends on your viewpoint.
But the former owner or occupant of this place he came over to help me with a situation. I don't even remember what it was, but he came over to chat and everything. And I had expressed this concern about hearing that voice and feeling like somebody was skulking around the property. And he said, well, here's one thing that you need to keep in mind, because I know you're from the city. I am. I'm such a city girl. He said, but here's one thing to keep in mind. Nobody, and I mean legit nobody, is going to go through the effort of opening the gate, driving up the driveway, knowing that you'll hear them, and come through the door not knowing what they're going to expect on the other side. Yeah. Because you could be a Sasquatch ready to tear their arms off. And I'm like, that is my best life right there.
It's rural Oregon. You don't walk into that unarmed.
Yeah. So they don't know if I have a gun. Of course, I don't know if they have a gun either, but they don't know if I have a gun. But more importantly, they don't know I have a sword.
She does. Several.
They're out there. I have a katana set, so it's like the katana itself. I don't remember what the middle one is called, and then the mingosh, which is not what it's called when you're talking about katanas, but it's what it's called when you're talking about like epes and like rapiers. It's
stabby times 3. Plus a couple of whips. And
that might look good on the mantle. The whips are all broken. That might look good on the mantle. That set of 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Dad's military picture?
Yeah.
Making plans.
We're all about making plans. We're all about trying to move forward and do the next generation of whatever we're going to be. The next couple of months are going to be a lot of planning and
ground cover.
A lot of ground cover is going to be cover crops and flowers. Oh, and we definitely want to capture a couple of, well, not capture, but what do you call it? Put up the crap. We're going to have bees this year.
Oh, we're doing that this year?
Absolutely.
Okay, I knew we were going to do the ducks, but not ducks, the chickens.
Yeah, chickens are this year too.
Chickens are this year.
But bees are definitely this year as well.
Okay.
And whether or not we get a hive or two going, don't really care. We have planned for a lot of native flowers and sunflowers, because
Sunflower Entertainment Group.
So this year is going to involve a lot of flowers, and I want to set flowers up in like along our drive and in areas we are not cultivating for food, but also this year I think is going to be a lot of fruit trees.
Yay!
And such.
I'm very excited about the fruit trees.
Yeah. So
I have a lot of ideas for canning and recipes for canning and such. So that's something that's going to be happening on this channel too. As we move forward with having our own farm and everything, we're going to talk a lot about preserving. And I know there's like a million homesteading channels out there that all have preserving recipes and everything. And sure, I'm probably going to end up doing the same thing as some of them. However, one of the things that I really want to do is I really want to develop a good base recipe for spaghetti sauce that does not involve onions, garlic, leeks.
Yeah.
Because our friend Snorri, not his real name, that is his SCA name, Society for Creative Anachronism, for those of you who don't know, he is very allergic to onions, leeks, garlic, etc. So,
and we're also huge fans of peppers of all kinds.
yes.
Spicier the better. And we have a smoker.
Yes.
And so this year may be about finding ways to grow a lot of peppers. And next year we're probably going to start breeding them to get different cultivars so we can do all that stuff. But smoking peppers and making both sweet and savory dishes and canning them, and with luck we'll come up with some really neat stuff.
So there's 2 hot sauce companies that I really like. Yellowbird sauces and Torchbearer sauces. Torchbearer is from my hometown. Well, basically my hometown. Mechanicsburg, close enough. And Yellowbird sauces is
somewhere in Texas.
From Texas, I believe.
Somewhere in Texas.
I love both of them for different reasons.
Right.
But folks, if you're listening and watching and following and all of that stuff, we are going to come up with some recipes for you.
We've already come up with some that Torchbearer has been very interested in.
Yes. Well, I don't mean those kind of recipes. I mean, here are some peppers that we've grown.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a crossbreed of like the Carolina Reaper with a ghost chili pepper?
Yeah.
That sounds like it's going to be delicious.
That's kind of something we're going to do.
Yeah, but roasting those to get a good flavor out of them, smoking some others, and then mixing those into a hot sauce. So, I mean, there's like ideas that we have, and it's things like that. You know, some things are obviously going to stay proprietary because we do plan on selling some of the stuff that we make. But a lot of it will probably end up in several different cookbooks that we have ideas for.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to have some fun. Like, we definitely have approached Torchbearer on a couple of occasions and given them some ideas for recipes. And I don't want to make money off that. Yeah. They're so amazing. If they choose to use one of our recipes that we've come up with, they can just, like, do it. Yeah. Publish it. I don't care.
I gave them a Bloody Mary recipe for one of their...
I know, right?
For one of their barbecue sauces, of all things, because the barbecue sauce was so sweet. I couldn't hack it in, you know, like on the meat because it just didn't taste right.
Too sweet, yeah.
But it was spicy, and you could use it in place of Tabasco sauce and margarita. And they were like, "Write down your recipe for that and send it over." So I did.
Yeah. So we're probably going to, I don't know. There's so many things we want to grow and so many things. Like today I finished up sorting and processing all the seeds. Like all of them.
It was like $400 worth of seeds.
Yeah, it's $400 worth of seeds, and it was over 150 different filings because some of them have multiple seeds on, but we're prepared for that, and we got all the cover crop seeds. We got 10 pounds inbound, and that's fine. But one of the things we love doing is taking these things that come out of the earth and making new things out of them. So with luck, we're going to have new recipes and new ideas, but at the same time, we're also going to support the people we love, which is obviously family and friends and all that, but also some of the brands we love, like Torchbearer.
And
Yellowbird. So if we come up with new cultivars of peppers, we're going to say, hey, try these. Have fun. We're in a really privileged position here. We don't need to make money off all this. This is just literally for fun. This is literally something we want to do. We could probably sell a lot of produce out of the garden, and that's fine. We may. I don't know. But also at the same time, we have a lot of friends who live in the area who might benefit from that and not have to spend their money when it's virtually free, especially since we're saving a lot of seeds year over year. Probably a quarter of the seeds we have right now are seeds we saved from previous years, which may or may not be terribly productive because some of them have been 2-3 years down the road, but 2-3 years forward, yeah, we're going to have a lot of that, and we're going to grow a lot. Since we're growing mostly heirloom here and entirely organic, in the next couple of years, we're going to have a lot of seeds that we can reuse year after year. And not sure where that's going to go. You're like literally right here at the beginning of this process. You're here when we're making the initial decisions. And I really am excited to share the first year with you, because this first year we've decided is not going to be about trying to make money. This first year is about doing what we need to learn, doing what we need to preserve for ourselves, and preparing 3 to 5 years worth of food ahead of time. This time next year, who knows? Who knows where we're going to be? But I know that we're not going to have to worry about food for 2 or 3 years. And that's
Which would
kind
be
of
nice. So if you want to be even more involved, or just, passively involved, but able to express ideas or just chat or whatever, we do have a community Discord server for Split Acres. I'll put the link in the description, but it's also, if you go to my actual homepage, it's actually one of the links that you can click on. I think in the cover photo area or whatever, but I'll make sure that I have the Discord link in the description for both the Split Acres channel as well as Coventry Kitchen. So do follow us both. We both do. I mean, we'll do content like this, obviously, but we also we also have our own channels, and we also do our own things. So if you want more goat stuff, follow Split Acres. If you want more preserving and cooking, or just randomness, because ADHD, follow Coventry Kitchen. And I will make sure that there are links to Instagram and both YouTube channels and all of that stuff in the descriptions on these videos. I'm the social media manager for this enterprise that we're doing here. So if you have any questions or comments or suggestions about the social media, direct them to me, and I can be reached at ctkinfo@split-acres.com. If you have questions about farming or comments about the farming or the goats or anything like that, bees, chickens, all of that stuff, go to him. It's info@split-acres.com.
Yeah. And be aware the next couple of months are going to be sketchy. Not like weird sketchy, but sketchy, and you're going to get...
Not sus sketchy, just sketchy, hit and miss.
Well, it's me, so it might be sus. But
You're not that what sus.
But regardless, the next couple of months are going to be kind of hit and miss. Once we start doing the chickens, once I can get out there and not having rain every day and start to cultivate and such, I'm really excited about what I'm going to be able to give you, because our farm is amazing. It's weirdly huge, but really regimented. Like the market garden, which you're not going to market right away, is about 2 acres. The woods are about 2 acres. The pasture's 2-3 acres, and it's underwater half the time right now. There's a lot of things that are going to be fun. There's a lot of area that currently the goats have taken over until we can figure out how to get them back into the pasture when it's not flooded and keep them from getting up into the garden. Well, either of the gardens. So once we get that all sorted out, we have the market garden, which is fenced, fully fenced and fine. But we have our personal gardens, her witchy garden, a couple other friends' allotments, if you will. the kitchen garden, which we definitely are going to fence off just in case the girls get out again. Because there's a lot of things we want to put in there that are just like we are going to go in the garden and get it every day. So there's so many aspects to this farm that I can't even begin to share with you because we don't currently fully understand how it's going to all come together. But we do have a really good understanding of how we want it to come together. Plus, there's a space where we're going to have set it apart for ourselves as just an area to be. We want to put up a pergola. We want to put up climbing vines. We want to put a garden around it. We want to put the what do you call it? Fire pit in the middle. But we also want to set aside another couple of areas for gardening for other reasons. We have to set up the composting area. We have to set up the fire pit area and make it like more secure because it's not safe right now.
Well, yeah, because it's laying on its side in the front lawn.
Well, that's the fire pit.
Yes.
The other fire area.
Oh, the burn pit, you mean?
Yeah, the burn pit, there's a burn pit and there's a burn, what do you call it?
I don't know because I only knew about the burn pit.
What do you call that? It's a like a 55 gallon metal barrel. A burn barrel?
We don't have one of those.
Yes, we do. I have traveled around our property. I know what's here.
I can't travel around our property.
She can't because it's like this.
Yeah,
we're on a hill like this. So
it's a very steep angle.
There is a burn barrel, which I am not terribly interested in, and there is a burn pit, which is just like a flat open area for a bonfire, and it's full of plenty of fuel, but not the stuff we necessarily want to burn. Because if you're going to burn wood, you kind of want to make sure it's not like toxic. And I don't know what's in there. So I'm probably going to just get rid of all that and take it to the transfer station and burn wood that we know is not going to be toxic. So there's a lot. I wish I could express to you how much a lot this really is, but how much I'm excited about taking this farm to the next generation, the next level. The person who lived here before was actually a family member of the person who owned this property before and sold it to us. And he was kind of bummed because he wanted to do what we want to do with this farm. At the same time, he and his father kind of had a falling out, and his father basically said, move, because we're selling this. And somehow in all this, we befriended him because he's an awesome human being, and we've talked a lot. And in his words, I'm so glad you guys got this place because you have the same vision I do. And we've actually invited him to come back with his son and farm a portion of this land just to be here and
see the goats
and be connected to the land and be connected to the goats because his son loves the goats. So it was really exciting for us a couple of weeks ago when they came up and visited and his son got to reconnect with the goats. It's the same.
We've renamed the goats, except for one.
Most of them, because Daffodil responds to her name.
She responds to her name, and that's actually a really good name. Although he did admit that my name for her was better, and he missed an opportunity because she is a Lamantian breed goat, and so I was going to name her Donna Quixote. Donna Quixote, the goat that's Lamantian. And he was like, that was a missed opportunity on my part, and I said it truly was. But that's okay, because not all of us are musical theater geeks. But that's why Dulcie, is named Dulcie, because she is a Nubian Boer, and those were the two who were just, they're different from the other four. The other four are Sanans? Sanans. I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but they're all white. And apparently I'm the only one who can tell them apart. So there's 4 of them. They're named, and I'm sure.
I got Phoebe. I do know Phoebe.
You know Phoebe.
I told you 1 a week and I will get them. It's taken 2 weeks to get her.
Their names are
Still don't get her.
Prue, Piper, Phoebe, and Paige. They live a charmed life. What can I say?
So my 4 boys are James, Joshua, Jeffrey, and Jordan. So I get the pain that I inflicted on my mother because it's come back to me.
But I like the show.
I've seen 2 episodes, maybe.
I've seen the whole series.
I don't watch TV. I don't like TV.
I haven't seen the new series yet.
There's a new series?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What the hell were we thinking?
I can't remember what the premise is for it, but it's still the Hollowell sisters. But I think it's like one of their... It's in the future, I think. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, doesn't matter. That's their names. Prue, Piper, Phoebe, and Paige. And to my understanding, the names used to be Thing 1, Thing 2. Didn't know which was which.
Nobel.
And Fiona. Fiona is the older... The oldest of those 4, the second oldest of the group. Yeah. And she is who I renamed Phoebe. Yeah. Nobel, she was named Nobel because she didn't have a bell around her neck. Her sister did, so her sister was Bell.
And she was Nobel.
And I'm like, I don't like that. That's a negative name. So I made her Piper. Or not Piper, Paige. Because she is the only one who has waddles. So there was something different about her. And then Prue and Piper are the 2 that have horns. Prue has a beard. Piper doesn't.
Oh, and they've discovered a new favorite playtime. I went into the greenhouse. There's a window between me and the greenhouse. Boof! No window.
No window, no more.
They are literally taking our windows once a week. That greenhouse is going to be a pile of rubble in 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, maybe hours. I don't know. So they've taken out 4 windows since we've been here in, mid-October?
It'll be our 3-month anniversary on the 19th.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's something I gotta deal with. Plus, the bathroom window is broken and mosquito haven, because all the steam in the bathroom goes into that window and falls down, and, yeah, bleach needs to go in there.
If my friend Mark from college is watching, all I have to say, Mark... Stagnant water in a puddle in my backyard.
Or bathroom.
Mosquito larva's getting kind of larger in a puddle of stagnant water. I still remember it. All of the words. Because it was one of those songs that you would start singing, and it was, well, you know, I'm here. We're already at 48 minutes. What's a little longer? Stagnant water in a puddle in my backyard. Mosquito larva's getting kind of larger in a puddle of stagnant water. You can't drink it, but I still find it appealing. And maybe someday you'll find me wriggling and a reeling in a puddle of stagnant water in my backyard. One more time. That's the kind of song it is.
So I grew up in LA. Where you just threw a cup of bleach at that shit and it went away.
I grew up in Pennsylvania, and the ironity is that my friend Mark and his friend, whose name I don't remember at this point, were actually driving in Harrisburg, near where I grew up, past Italian Lake, which is a man-made lake, and it is stagnant water. And that was what prompted them to make up this song called Stagnant Water. And I'm like, yeah, you have no idea how true that is. You avoid the lake in the spring and summer.
And the winter.
Well, the
it's
winter
full of ice in the winter.
It's full of what
So-
in the winter?
Snow, ice, whatever.
I thought you said lice. I was like, wait, what? I didn't know.
No.
I grew up there and I didn't know that. No, it's full of ice. But you can't skate on it. 'cause it's
They
thin ice.
plow the streets and dump it in the lake or near the lake where it runs off into the lake. So it's snow and ice and skeeter larva, whatever. Every day. It's just, no.
All right.
It smells bad on a good day and smells worse on a bad day.
Okay, we've been doing this for 50 minutes now, so we should probably wrap things up.
So, yeah, we have a lot going on.
TLDR.
And we really are sad that we haven't been able to post anything really in the last few weeks or months because it's been crazy. We're still only 20% unpacked.
Maybe that'll be next week's video, is just showing you the rooms that we still have stuff in.
This move has been hell. And top it off, 3 months ago, I fell and I think I broke my hip, but I still don't know. And I still don't rock right. So we have doctor's appointments set up to get that taken care of. So I'm to the point where I can walk up and down our driveway, which is no mean feat. But at the same time, we're making progress. And we are getting better. We're moving in and we're learning about the heat in this house, which is not existent.
Don't forget to call about the mini splits.
Yeah. We really need some mini splits in this house. So there's so much that's been going on. And it's been so difficult that we haven't given this channel the respect it's due. And we know that. And if you're listening to this, we respect you for just being here and still being here. In the next 2 to 3 months, we should really get back onto a regular pattern. We have things we need to do, but we're prepared. When spring comes, I am prepared. And you're probably going to be seeing a lot of stuff from me just getting out there and doing stuff. It's not going to be particularly glamorous, but it's going to be noteworthy. Because if you ever get into a farm like we did, where unfortunately the previous tenant was told not to take care of the farm for a year, so this has not been taken care of for a year. That's not him. That's what he was told to do by his father and the real estate people. This farm was very well maintained, very well taken care of, and then it wasn't. And now we have to revert that for a year with a lot of extra work, which we shouldn't have to do, but we have to. We've got the right tools. We've got the right stuff to do it. We just need it not to rain every effing weekend. This next couple of months are going to be fun. We're going to try and get as much done and broadcast to you. Did pick up a drone, which I'm going to try and get some good footage of. It's all black and white because it's a cheap drone. I just, like I told the guy who's selling it to me, do you want the repair contract? No, I don't, because I plan to destroy this drone, which in the next couple of weeks, months, I might very well do. I'll get a better drone later, but I want to learn how to crash a drone gracefully, which I've done twice. I've not crashed it ungracefully, but I have crashed it gracefully twice. Once just a little bit over my head in a tree. So we got a lot of fun stuff ahead of us. We got a lot of exciting stuff we want to share.
Oh, don't forget to add another thing of water to Leo's tank. It's been more than an hour.
I know. I've done 2, and I only need to do like a half of one now. It's almost done. It's only 2 steps from the top.
Oh, okay.
We have a turtle.
We have a turtle.
We have a terror turtle, and his filter was getting a little sus, so we changed out all the filters. And he was getting a little foam on top of his water, which is not good for a turtle. Mm-mm. So we took out about half the water today, and we're refilling it in stages because we don't want him to be shocked by the fact water is too high or too low of a temperature based on the 75 degrees we have him set dead on. So I try and wait an hour, maybe an hour or 2, between refillings. And so we've done two of them today. We're going to do a third one before we go to bed. And he'll be back up to max water level. So everything here is about a balance. Inside, outside, doesn't matter. Oh my God, I did not give the girls grain today. They're going to have a trip. So I'm going to...
Oh, weird. There's still time.
Yeah, after we're done here, I'm going to have to go give them some grain.
I might film that just because it's hilarious.
It's disturbing. It's not hilarious. It's disturbing. Unless you like disturbing, then it's hilarious. So it's winter here in Oregon, which means there's not a lot of forage opportunities for the girls. Girls do not graze. They're foragers. They're not sheep. Sheep will eat the grass right down to the roots. Goats don't like eating anything on the ground because in their minds, somebody's peed on it, which is probably right here. So they eat...
Like 6 of them, yes.
They eat leaves above the ground. And right now there's not a lot of leaves above the ground. Even the blackberries, they've completely denuded. So we're giving them hay on a regular basis. Mainly, not so much to keep them fed, because they could forage out. We got a nice large area for them to roam. But mainly just to build heat up inside their systems so that they don't get cold at night. And we provided them 3 or 4 different places where they can go and get out of the wind. So they're fine.
Just like knocking the windows out of the greenhouse.
Yeah, because that's their fun place. So they're not really in danger of not having adequate food or warmth or any of that stuff. But at night, I just like to treat them with grain. We have cracked corn and some sort of finishing thing, which gives them glossy coats and they look gorgeous and all that, I guess. And
they do look gorgeous. And
some black sunflower seeds just for the proper oils and nutrients and balance, as well as nutrient-rich grit. It gives them enough selenium to get through the winter. We've really done a lot of research and we're really trying to do the things that make them comfortable and healthy and happy and all that. Because I just don't want them to be unhappy on my watch or they'll eat my greenhouse or some shit.
Or me.
Anyway.
Dulcie tried to eat me the other day. I put my hand out, like, to give her pets, and she was like, nope, I'm going to eat your fingers. And I'm like, no.
Do you realize how many times I pulled Daffodil out of the car?
I remember the time you walked her through the house.
Yeah.
When we moved.
Daffodil is crazy smart.
She is.
She realized that delicious grain came out of that house. And there are people going in and out of the house, and they don't close the door very fast. And she snuck into the house, past all the guys who were bringing all of our stuff, and snuck over to where we had the grain, and she gorged herself on grain until we caught her.
Until we got her.
And she was really unhappy when we walked her out of the house.
And then there was Dulcie, who really loves alfalfa.
Oh, yeah.
And the first time we brought them alfalfa, oh, she was in heaven. Until she realized she ate too much and she was just doing nothing but screaming. And I finally said,
she was bloated. She was very bloated.
That does not sound good. We should figure out what's going on with her. And then we looked out the window and he was like, does she look bloated to you? I'm like, well, she looks like she's about to give birth to like 5 goats. So I'd say yes.
So we talked to Chuck, who used to live here before. And he said, yeah, they do that sometimes. You just need to give them bicarb. So we got some bicarbonate soda and went out there. And the other 5 girls sniffed at it and like, oh, that's nasty. And she's like, oh, yes, come to mama.
It was like a whole George Takei moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So she ate all the bicarb out of my hand and went off to barf or fart or...
Who knows?
Who knows?
I went outside later to get something out of the car. She was up on the deck. And I know it was her because I could, A, hear that there was a goat up there. And B, all I heard was... the whole time. Because she was trying to get rid of all of the excess gas. Did you not tip over the table?
Maybe. So yeah, she was expelling gas out of every possible orifice for a
Poor
day or
thing.
two.
The poor thing.
But she was better, and she still doesn't look right, but she's still not wrong. She's just
She looks okay. She's just
chunky.
well. That's because we feed her
And-
like a lot.
Yeah.
She's very heavy. She has stepped on my foot before, which was not pleasant because she did not move post haste as I had hoped she would.
All of them have stepped on me because I'm the one who takes them grain at night.
Yes,
And
because
they're like
I can't
totally
see to
excited.
do it.
They don't understand the concept of I'm going to put this here so you can eat it when you have it right there in that can, and I need to eat it now. And I need to climb up you. Like Dulcinea literally climbed a tree a few days ago to get leaves on the tree.
Yes.
Like her back feet were still on the ground, but her top feet were above her head, and she was nibbling at any leaf she could get a hold of.
Oh, Dulcie. That just happens. That's like a phrase now. Oh, Dulcie.
Yeah.
Our problem child.
One of our problems.
And then there's Daffodil, who's usually off by herself somewhere. Oh, Daffy.
Daffodil is our oldest, and she likes to wander because she used to be the alpha. So she wanders off and expects people to follow her, or goats to follow her, apparently. And they don't, because she's no longer the alpha, because she's so old. And so she ends up by herself so much.
But she's so cute.
Yeah. So when we go to feed the girls, we have to reserve a portion and sneak off to Daffodil so she gets some.
Exactly.
And she's usually hiding somewhere.
Oh. So yeah, we really need to end soon because like
Low battery warning!
my charger down here doesn't work. So
Yeah. So tonight was just about sharing and trying
it's
to...
very long.
Yeah, it's very long. And if you listen this long, God bless.
God bless.
But
Like and subscribe.
something like
Like
that.
and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Because yeah.
Yeah. But this is literally about sharing with you about where we're at and what we're doing. And right now, the posts aren't often enough. And then we get that. The next few weeks, things should improve. And probably by March, things will get crazy. And we'll probably be posting several times a week. Or a few times.
I won't be. I mean,
I-
we'll have our Insta stuff going on like we normally do. But
I probably will be because there's going to be a lot going on in spring for me.
edit the videos.
She does the real work on this channel. I do the physical work. She does the real work.
I edit all the videos and I have my own business. So I'm very busy. Which is part of why my channel has kind of taken a back burner because I actually have a burlesque business. Technically, it is burlesque and corporate training because you all start at the same place, which is with a 90-minute intro to burlesque class that is less about burlesque and more about self-love, self-acceptance, and all of that. And you get to have fun, you get to take up your space, you get to be free, you get to explore. And it's crucial in establishing stage presence, especially if you're going to be in a corporate situation where you need to do presentations and meetings and things like that. It will help you with your stage presence. If you decide that you want to be a performer, awesome, I'm here for that, and I will help you attain that goal. Otherwise, if you're just looking to do just improve your stage presence, improve your acting ability, improve your public speaking ability, all of that stuff, we all start with a 90-minute intro to burlesque class, and then we can tailor your specific course to what you're looking to do. But that is actually my job. I produce burlesque shows, I perform in burlesque shows, I teach burlesque. I am working on improving my fire skills, which is why I'm going to be gone the first week of February. I have an intensive in San Francisco that I'm doing that is seriously intense, like more than 12 hours. And I'm hoping that I can stay healthy enough to do it and actually get a benefit from it. Because the last one I did, I was not healthy. I wasn't sick, but I wasn't 80%. I was more like 40%. And I didn't get as much out of it as I really wanted. So I'm hoping that this time around I'll get more out of it. But then in March, I have another intensive that is both fire and aerial that I'm doing in 29 Palms in California. And so it's like, that is what I do. I am also doing an accelerator course on marketing for burlesque and things like that, and building a burlesque brand and all of those things. So I'm very focused on what I am doing for my career. I started Coventry Kitchen Witchery and Other Spells back in January of 2020 because I didn't know what else to do. I was hoping that I could generate some kind of income or something like that from doing YouTube videos, but that was not in my cards. And at this point, I still don't think it's really in my cards for, making money from doing this. So it's like, I do this because it's fun. I like sharing, and I know that there is a lack of the types of videos that I do. I don't know anything about video production. I don't know anything about making content for YouTube that is like monetized content or whatever. It's like, dude, you're coming to this channel, you get to see my improv, you get to listen to me babble as I cook, and babble when I'm not cooking apparently, but you get to listen to me babble as I cook, and you get to see how things work when it comes to the science of gluten-free cooking or vegan cooking or whatever it is that I'm doing, because I do have celiacs, apparently, we think. And so I do need to eat gluten-free. So I want to produce as much content as I can regarding gluten-free baking and gluten-free cooking and those kinds of things, so that niche is filled, because there are people like me out there who want to have a more plant-based diet, but you can't go full vegan, because if you go full vegan, you're going to starve yourself to death, because there are certain things that you can't have. And it might be something that's integral to a dish that you love now, but you would like to make it plant-based. Like, for example, like chicken. Let's just use chicken. There's only one company that I know that does a chicken-like product that I can eat that is vegan, and that's corn. And I can't have everything from them because some of the stuff does have wheat in it. So you have to read labels, and reading labels is annoying, but you know what? I don't like being sick either, so I do what I do. But if I want to make a chicken soup or let's get real creative. I want to have vegan matzo ball soup. That is, by the way, something I want to do. Vegan matzo ball soup.
Yeah.
So I can't have matzo or matzah because that is actually,
wheat.
Flour, wheat. And chicken flavoring in most vegan recipes involves wheat. So I need to get creative on that and figure out how to do it from scratch using not wheat. And that's very difficult. And I know that there are other people out there that are like that. I mean, I can't be the only person. So that's why I did this channel. That is literally why I did this channel. I started this channel before the pandemic. So when the pandemic hit, I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything else. I might as well do 2 videos a week. And then things got real when Dad got sick and I started doing burlesque almost full time, and I was still trying to graduate with my doctorates, which I finally did right before we moved. So I'm still kind of dealing with a lot of stuff with school and trying to finish things up, and we're still trying to literally move into our house because he is still working full time, and I am still actually like, my burlesque business is a full-time job. I am doing social media marketing. I am doing I actually have a venue that I need to go back to and visit and talk to them and negotiate out rates and such, because they wanted me to do at least one show there. And I know the date I want to do it, and I have like all of these things in mind, but I need to negotiate pay. And it's like there's all these things that I have to do, and I don't always feel up to doing them because that's lupus, and that hurt my double finger snap there because I still can't move this thumb very well. Yeah. Anyway, so this has been roughly an hour and 15-minute video. So thank you for watching if you have watched this far. Do like and subscribe to both of our channels, Split-Acres, Coventry Kitchen. You can find us on Instagram at split.acres and coven_tree_kitchen. And our Discord server, I'll put a link in the description, like I said earlier. And come chat with us. Like, I'm on Discord all the time because I have a burlesque server as well. So, I mean, come chat with us and hang out. There's not very many people there right now, and that's fine. We're trying to grow this community because that's really what we see this as. We see this as a community project, as something that the community can be involved in.
And to be honest with you, the next couple of years are going to be fun for Split-Acres, because not only are we going to be growing the food, we're going to be serving the food, and really probably in the same vein of that, we're going to be preserving seeds and preparing for the next generation of farming. So it's like, I know there's 1,000,001 channels out there that do all that, but we're not stressing. We're just trying to do the best we can, and we're learning little lessons day by day. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to learn as we go and help you not make the same mistakes we're going to make, because we're going to make mistakes.
We are.
I really think that there's a lot of channels out there that are focused on, this is how I do it and it's wonderful. We're going to muddle through. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to make a lot of mistakes. But I honestly think a lot of people out there who really want to do what we are going to do don't really want to model themselves on perfection. They really want to embrace the fact they're going to screw up. They're going to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes for you.
Yes. I mean, in some of my cooking videos, I've said, don't do it the way I'm doing it. Because, like, I don't know all of the different ways to do things. Mm-hmm. I just know how it works for me. And I know that I have been told, not by you, by other people, just to be clear, I have been told that the way I do it is wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how else to do it.
Happy to be wrong.
It works for me this way, so...
But wrong isn't a failure. It's just
wrong isn't a failure.
It's just different. So, I really, really am excited about the fact that the next couple of months are going to be about planning a lot of stuff, and we're going to fail. We're going to fail a lot, and that's fine. We have the privilege to be able to fail and still succeed. I am excited about sharing with everyone what we failed with, what we succeeded with, and how to fix it. So This is literally a farm where I've got 20 years of experience planting, 20 years of experience failing and succeeding, and I am going to show you where we failed, where we succeeded, what the difference was, and what we did to remediate the failure. I don't want to be somebody who sits here and says, we did all these things and look at all the wonderful things and edit out all the failures. I want to show you the failures and how we fixed them, how we did better, because you're not going to step into gardening. You're not going to step into food preservation and succeed every time. You need somebody to model failure and remediation of that failure. That's what I want to do.
And that is what Coventry Kitchen has always been about. Like, when I was calling it Kitchen Witchery and Other Spells, it was based on a meme that talked about baking. And it was like, cooking is an art. Baking is a science. Gluten-free baking is kitchen witchery, you know, kind of thing.
It's a mystery.
And yeah, and that was where Kitchen Witchery and Other Spells came from, was gluten-free baking, because that's what I did. And I hadn't mastered it, but I'd gotten fairly good at it, having done it for 10 years. So I've been gluten-free for a while. But at the same time, I know that there's dishes that I've made that I've been like, I'm going to make this dish. And I sit down and make the dish and I'm like, I forgot I was using a standard recipe and I had to use gluten-free flour. So it's going to be different. You know, it's like, because sometimes I don't think about that. I'm just like, oh, this is just, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I just do this and just use my flour instead and blah. And no, that's not how it works. Like, when you're converting a recipe from standard wheat flour to gluten-free flour, you have a lot to like be cognizant about and really consider when you're mixing your wet and your dry ingredients. You are most likely, depending on the gluten-free flour you're using, if you're using an all-purpose gluten-free flour, you are most likely going to have to add flour to your mixture. If you are doing your own blend of gluten-free flour, that is where the witchery comes in, because now you're just going to have to feel it. And you're going to have to figure out, do I need more flour? Do I need more liquid? You know, and it's like everything is going to go crazy. And that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. I'm trying to show, like, probably the next time after I get back from our weekend trip into medieval times, I will probably do a video where I make a loaf of bread with a very specific flour that I found, because the first time I made the bread, it was fantastic. And I screwed up a lot of stuff in the doing of it. But it still came out amazing. And actually, I just made, so there's a channel, I don't know what her last name is, but her first name is Beryl. And if you just Google, like if you just search in YouTube, Beryl 5 Toasts, you'll come up with this great video where this woman who reminds me of my sister-in-law, slash niece-in-law, talks about these different toasts from around the world. And one of the toasts that they make, it's the very first one that she does, is called Bulgarian Princess Toast. And when we saw the video the other day, we were like, that sounds amazing. We should do that. Like, the video literally made us hungry at 11 o'clock at night. So I made it the other day.
And then we had it and it was 12,000 pounds.
Yes, it was heavy because I used the bread that I made from that specific gluten-free flour. And that bread is very, very good, but it is not sturdy for like French toast kind of thing, but it's still pretty dense, which is a really weird combination. But that is probably a video, excuse me, for the future. And we're getting real long on this, and I don't want to do a 2-hour video because it's going to take forever to upload, and I'm already at 20% or less on my phone.
That's fine.
So
This was just chatting.
this is chatting.
This is just us being us. So, if you're ever curious, this is who we are. We're just chatty.
We are. Anyway, so we will see you guys hopefully next week with
A
2
real video.
different
Or
videos, or whatever. His plan is to upload once every other week, and I am still trying to do once a week. Now that I've canceled my Home Chef subscription, that will probably happen more frequently because I'll
Yeah.
have other options to do.
We're gonna cook
Because
a
I don't
lot.
want to show you. I don't want to show you meal kits. You know how to make a meal kit. The instructions are right there. So anyway,
Yeah.
so that's that. So we will see you.
Oh, and once we get the dehydrator going and
We want a freeze dryer.
we're gonna get a freeze dryer, and oh my gosh, we're gonna start doing crazy shit. Just saying.
Yeah, I have plans. I
There
have a lot
should
of
be
plans.
asterisks there somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to edit the video that much. All right.
Look forward to our
Look
video.
forward to it. My hand is killing me. Sorry for no cooking video. Hopefully you enjoyed this monstrosity.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.